7 years under the court's watch. And just when he thought he was finally free, boom! The judge drops a bombshell decision that changes everything. I will grant early termination, but I refuse to dismiss the case. Wait, what? If he did everything right, why is the judge still holding him back? Is this justice or a broken system at work? Stick around because this case is about to take a shocking turn. And trust me, you won't believe what happens next. This hook builds suspense, curiosity, and emotional impact, making viewers eager to keep watching. Let me know if you want any tweaks.
Surprise.
You're so funny.
And Bashan,
Yes,
can
Judge.
you look on very early to see if there have been any issues since we were last here?
Yes, Judge.
These are the two cases.
Yes. I think this is the one that this I already had, the earlier case.
So you have all of the
Right,
discovery for this
right,
one.
and yes. The other one, 2024 case, CR is 211-76.
Judge, there's no reported
The one
issues.
that something pronto.
Case analysis, early termination of probation. Case summary. This court proceeding revolves around a defendant who has been under court supervision for approximately 7 years due to a past case. The defense attorney has filed a motion for early termination of probation, which means they are requesting the judge to officially end the defendant's probation before the originally set duration. The judge initially wanted to ensure that the IYC defendant had fully complied with all probation conditions before making a decision. The prosecutor and probation office confirmed that the defendant had successfully completed all required programs and did not violate any conditions. As a result, the judge agreed to grant early termination of probation but refused to dismiss the case entirely.
I think we're set,
Just waiting for the
the next few weeks.
Okay, Judge.
If I understand you correctly, the problem that you have not.
I actually said in.
So on that one, we were just waiting for the state to contact the
No
complainant.
files in it.
Okay, Judge, do you
That's
have
me.
the termination paperwork or do I need to print it?
I don't have the probation paperwork, but I do have the request from the defense attorney in their motion. But if there's something I need to sign with probation.
So I don't know if it's
I'll
because of the
print it.
size of the
Thank you.
files or something
All
else.
right,
because
very-
Normally get it that way, right? But there's been like a few cases that perhaps because of the size of the files, I have to give you guys
Hi, good morning.
a flash drive or something.
So here's the thing. I understand that sometimes with the nature of the case that the state will not
You let me
agree
know
to
who-
early termination. But
But since
at
that, so
the
like,
end
you
of
know,
the
if
day,
that is needed, I can. drop
the
it off.
reason why I have defendants come in when they want early termination is because
No,
they're
when I
trying to
can get it
figure
this
out
afternoon, that's how interested I
if
am.
you just check boxes on the
So I
courses
can
that
go
I've
buy
given you,
one.
or if you really
That's
internalize.
nice,
And what I can tell you is you are the first person who's come before me with this type of case and said
but- Okay,
that
but who should I contact?
you didn't realize that the certain tone you use in your voice, that you shouldn't use that. So
Okay,
you've successfully completed everything. Probation at the last hearing said you had successfully completed everything. But because of the nature of your case, I wanted to complain.
Why is this happening? The defendant has been under supervision for a long period, 7 years, and has followed all legal requirements. Their attorney believes that terminating probation early will help the defendant move forward in life, including job applications, like at the post office, without probation restrictions. The judge was initially skeptical, but ultimately agreed to sign off on early termination after reviewing the case history. However, the judge refused to completely dismiss the case, meaning the defendant's record will still reflect past legal issues. This could have implications on future opportunities. Consequences and impact.
fine,
To
what?
know that the court was going to grant early termination. So I told you then
That's not.
that whether or not the early termination is signed off today was completely in your hands. If you followed everything and didn't violate any conditions and continued on probation, then I would sign it. So probation has told me that none of that happened, that you've done great. The state has informed me that the complainant has been contacted, so I'm going to grant your motion for early termination. You're welcome. And counsel, I'll sign your, well, I'll sign probation. They have a form for me to sign for early termination, so that will be signed.
Judge, we had requested
Can get it to me.
both early termination and a dismissal.
Yeah, I'll
discharge.
try. I don't have much this morning.
Positive outcome for the defendant. The early termination means they are no longer under probation rules, giving them more freedom and opportunities. No case. Dismissal. The refusal to dismiss the case means their record is still affected, which may cause difficulties in certain job applications or legal matters in the future. Judicial discretion. The judge shows fairness by considering the request, but maintains a level of caution due to the nature of the case.
I'm not going to do the dismissal.
All right, thank you. I'll do that.
And I will tell you that not allowing you the dismissal is based upon all the evidence that I've heard. That's the reason why. Okay. It's, you know, in some cases, I have allowed it, but I'm not going to allow it in this case, but I will do the early
If you want to work on that,
termination.
I'll stay here for a minute.
My only point is that he has been on this for a long time, like we think roughly 7 years under court supervision, and he's done everything, and this would
Thank you.
be slightly better way, we think, once he applies for the post office, if we had the, and the statute does allow for it.
He hasn't been on, it
Not on
hasn't been 7
probation.
years. Yes, yes.
But under court supervision, that is pretrial services from the time of his arrest, through trial, through appeal, coming to court every time.
So I'm not inclined to grant that. If you want to confer with the state and see if they would be in agreement to that, I'll consider it. But at this point, I'm not inclined to grant that.
Well, we appreciate the court's concern.
Case. Final decision. The defendant's probation is officially terminated, but the judge keeps their record active. Engaging. Breakdown. This case is a real-life example of how a person's past actions continue to impact their future, even after successfully completing probation. It also
Consideration, Your Honor. And I will, Mr. Harris still around?
I think he's stepped in the hallway, but what I'll do is I'm going to sign the early termination that probation is going to provide. And if you want a copy of that, they'll give you a copy of that. Just remain in the courtroom.
Okay,
All right.
thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
yeah.
much.
Judge, if you just give me a moment, I'll get
Sure.
it ready. I'm having issues with my computer.
Oh, no problem. Sorry, let me just put this in the system.
highlights the power of the court system in deciding someone's fate based on compliance, behavior, and legal technicalities. Would you like me to create a video script or a hook for this case to make it even more engaging for your audience?